Halo, Sanctum, Saber Forum, etc., wherever this ends up getting posted, any and all places. I've posted most of the pictures of the working on the Sanctum, when I was mostly done anyway. So quick backstory. I guess it was last year, I got a free grab bag or whatever, free random initiate, and I gave it a nice little PVC shroud and a couple little mods like plastic buttons up here for my dad. For this Christmas I decided to snatch it away and give it an upgrade, which will be really awkward when he opens it again and gets the same thing, but the difference will be, well, when he removes the kill key, the Saberforge kill key, it was even supposed to be pre-wired and they didn't even do that, even though they said they would, but you know, it's Saberforge, so yeah. So we got that there, that fits basically in the old Ultrasaber guarded switch hole. I had to widen it a little bit because they use a friction fit with a really thick piece here, which, after putting the nut on, I kind of see why they would do that, but it's still a pain in the butt because you can't really use that switch afterward. But you know, whatever. What they do is what they do. I've never actually had a problem with them coming out or anything. So real quick, going over the shroud and stuff. There's still a little bit of the plastic under here, just because it helps space out this. I thought this looked kind of cool, the exposed brass decoratively underneath there. This piece kind of mirroring the shroud as it was there. And this is actually the original hose clamp that I used as the activation box. But I think it actually looks kind of nice. Like, gives you a little bit of a break up there, gives you kind of that classic look, which is kind of what I was going for. You can see the shroud, and yes, I realize that it's slightly crooked. That's because the original one, it was the first like modification I really ever made, aside from just changing out MHS parts. So I just kept it crooked because it was kind of the part of the look of the Saber at that point. Originally, those two were supposed to like be lining up opposite. It didn't quite turn out that way because I'm still learning this. So yeah, the Initiate V2 doesn't really come with sound. does come with 2 retention screws, which is nice. I don't actually have an LED retention screw. I'll get into that. The whole build is very tight inside. So here's the sound vents I did. It is a Tri-Cree blue, or yeah, royal blue, green, white in a Pico Crumble V2, which is honestly, I love that soundboard. It's perfect if you don't care about sound fonts. It's got really good sounds. It's sensitive as hell. I love it. Even the Pico V1 that I have was better than the Nano Biscotti 3. Not as good as the 4, but definitely sensitivity-wise as good as the 3. And yeah. So if you don't care, sorry, I'm bad at keeping things in frame. If you don't care about changing sound fonts a lot, I highly recommend that board. It's about $10 cheaper, and once it's in the Saber, if you have a recharge port, you never have to open it. You can do all the color changing and stuff with the preset profiles, which are really pretty comprehensive, I think. You can do that just with one button. I kind of wish the Prism had a one button mode. That would actually be amazing. But anyway, so let's see. I guess I'll open it up first before I show you the inside, or the colors. Let me just use my hand to hold the camera. I don't like to open this thing up because I don't really have to, and again, it's tight in there. Once everything's in there, I don't ever really feel like I need to take it out. But see, the speaker just sits in there. It's got an O-ring. Behind the speaker is the soundboard, and it's in a TCSS 1.15 chassis. With Nano Biscotti and 18500. Solos hold 18500 battery because it had a better milliamp rating than the. Hope you guys don't mind me touching my feet there. I know some people might get pissed off by that for some reason. Anyway, I had a better milliamp rating than the TCSS one, and I didn't feel like I could fit a full 18650 in there, and as it turned out, I probably couldn't. This is just a piece of sync tube. By the way, it's actually slightly oversized for the Initiate, so I put this little plate in here, which also serves to hold the switch, and there's also a little piece in there that kind of just tightens everything up, as well as these are dented in a way that kind of adds a little more friction too. And I think that worked really well. So without further ado, turn it on. The sound out here is pretty good. You get a little more bass by topping it and stuff like that. I have it set to a robin egg blue, kind of. Is what I was going for. It's you got a lot of different settings you can go through. Mostly shades of blue and green, because my dad's favorite color is like a light blue, like a robin egg blue. As it turned out, it looks basically, if you know the color when Luke turns on his lightsaber in A New Hope inside of Obi-Wan's hut, it looks very much like that, especially if I'll be doing the blade demo with a 1-inch blade, but I have a 3/4 inch blade, and it looks superb in that. I really like the 3/4 inch blades. I almost want to try a clear one, see how rebelsy you can get. If I ever did like a Ahsoka lightsabers, I'd definitely use those. Just get them as thin looking as possible. But I don't have the money for that sort of thing. The Ahsoka hilts are freaking expensive. Back on subject. So, blade demo, or color demo. Let me pop the blade in. Get this down. Sorry. I don't have any fancy cameraman or anything to pass this off to. Mainly because, yeah, I don't to get the blade out. One thing that was kind of a negative about the build, because of how tight it was, I basically used a piece of plastic spacer, blade material like this actually, to help just make sure the resistors weren't pinched, and then the heatsink. You really can't pull anything out from this end, which I know is kind of a no-no. Usually you like to be able to get access to the LED from this end. You might be able to if you pulled. I don't want to pull it. Again, it's a tiny hilt, and pretty much all the space is down here. I didn't want to mess with anything up here. I already added a switch and a spacer, but it gives good blade depth at least, I think. So, get the blade out. It has really good blade depth actually. So tighten that on with the anodized aluminum red CoverTech knob and switch, which also help hold the shroud on. It's still pretty tight without those screwed in, but it helps. So, pick that back up. Yeah. So it's a very greenish blue. Like I said, the color I was advised when I was trying to get an idea of what color blue, because I know my dad likes blue. The other one was just straight royal blue. This is like a lightish blue. Again, A New Hope blue, very much. Yeah, it was the closest to robin egg blue that was in here. So, let me just demo the sound versus too. The sounds. That light one, that light little ding, is like one of the main crash sound for the V1, and I kind of don't like that. I'm really glad though, with the force sewing sounds on the new Picos, it actually blends way better. It's less repetitive. Also, this is the first Pico I actually wired RGB. The other one I just used it as a cheap stunt upgrade, which is kind of a mistake. I'll probably rewire that. Here I was saying how sensitive it was. Hold on, let me try swinging with my right arm. I think it's a little more force and muscle. So yeah, pretty good, I think. So then let me put the kill key in so I can adjust the sound. Get to the sound menu, which is by putting it in deep sleep, and then giving it a good long hold. Similar to how you would get to the mute function. Alright, so here we got like a light green, a main green, lighter green, very light green, white. This is actually dimmer than I thought it would be. I kind of prefer a cool white. It's more of a warm white. Kind of a lavender. I guess it's mixing in blue. Almost a violet. I actually really like this. I'll have to remember this for next time I want a violet, is to actually use the blue and white. Blue and a slightly warmer white instead of trying to mix it with red. almost like a indigo, I guess. Straight royal blue with a little green, a little more green, and I think that's back to the color we were at. Oh, it does go one brighter. You can see there's a lot of sections, and if this, or selections, and if this were a RGB, you can imagine just how many more there would be even than that. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it at that one. If my dad wants to change it, he always can. That's, I think, the really good thing about how, you know, the, was it 12 profiles or 10 profiles? It used to be like 6. That was just based on, you know, red, green, red, you know, red and blue, and then just, you know, down the color line. So you would get, you know, you get your yellow, your pink, you know, Arctic blue, things like that. This new one is almost all the same stock colors as the Prism, I think. I could be wrong about that. But very pretty color, I think. Very, and I like how the flashing clash is nice and quick. Some, for instance, the obsidian board, the obsidian, sorry guys. The obsidian light, I don't like how the flashing clash is a little more, it stays too long to me. I like my flashes to be very, you know, just staccato, I think might be the right word. But yeah, this honestly wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It's tight, but it wasn't that hard. I highly recommend anybody who's willing to put the effort into drilling. If you don't have good drilling tools, this was the hardest part, honestly. But it's very easy. I think it's very easy to actually get sound into one of these. I was a little surprised. I thought it was going to be much harder. It was daunting when you saw, you know, how tight the space was. But I've also done a saber that was also almost entirely in a TCSS grenade section. So I had a little experience with that. The other hard thing was, not hard, but nerve-wracking thing was the speaker, because it's a little bit cramped food in there, but it's not pinched or anything, thankfully. Little dabs of hot glue to insulate it helped too, even though I don't like glue. But yeah, and it's a very solid hilt, because one thing, Ultrasabers unibodies are very solid. So if you're looking for a Shoto lightsaber with sound, I would recommend this if you're looking for something not just made with like MHS parts. And this is actually my suggestion is, you know, you can do whatever the hell you want, but I like the, I would actually recommend using these. I think there's a couple other places you can get them other than Saberforge, which I would recommend. I don't like Saberforge personally. Too many horror stories, and I just don't like the way their hilts look. I don't know. Anyway, I just used the little switch here. You could use whatever you want, and there's a lot of blade depth here. Even with the 1-inch spacer, I used the TCSS heatsink, so it's shorter than the aluminum one that came with it, and you still have a lot of blade depth, so you could probably get away with, if you wanted to use a larger battery, you could move stuff up, you could just plug this with something. There's a lot of options. If you wanted to put an accent LED, I almost considered doing that myself, but wiring was getting a little tight, so I held off on that. One cool thing, might be a little hard to see, doesn't really show up now, is that the light actually comes through into the recharge port, which is kind of cool, I think. If it's, you know, super dark, you do get a little bit of light that comes through. Darn. But, yeah, so that's what I've been working on. Yeah, so hopefully my dad likes it. He liked the other one. He better like this one. Because this one took a lot more effort. Yeah, I put a lot of work into the other one, but I think this is a substantial upgrade, and I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with it. I don't know. I, for one, am happy that I have a dad who actually who's enough of a Star Wars geek, just like his son, to play lightsabers with him. But people actually get really impressed. Like if we go to some sort of outside thing, drive-in, whatever, we're dealing with these things, and you know, people are impressed. So that's always kind of cool. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on. I have another couple builds coming up as funds become available. The Black Friday sale for TCSS made another build I'm doing more easy. So I'll post pictures and stuff of that as that goes. Otherwise, I will see you all later and around the various forums. Bye!